Hey everyone, I wanted to go over some new and exciting news that we got for Grand Theft Auto The Trilogy, the Definitive Edition, that is actually set to launch onto the Nintendo Switch and other consoles on November 11th. And that's the fact that the official Rockstar website finally went ahead and updated some screenshots for the game, pretty much for every single version available that is set to come out. PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series consoles, PC, and of course the Nintendo Switch as well. And interestingly enough, we finally get our first look at what the Nintendo Switch version will actually look like. Now, to be fair, these screenshots are probably taken directly from the developer kit, and they're not necessarily probably as good as they're gonna get, but essentially what we're looking at here is a couple of screenshots from what they're pretty much just saying. This is the approximation, or at the best case, what the Switch version is going to look. Again, this is their official screenshots, so again, it's about as clear as cut as day as it's going to be. And when it comes to like remastered versions, essentially this is not necessarily that much of an upgrade, considering that these are like old games that are getting remastered essentially to new skins and stuff like that, new textures for pretty much every other console. And the Switch version looks a little bit grimy, to be completely honest with you guys. It looks a little bit blurry, it looks a little bit low textured essentially, but that's not necessarily new, even though it does seem to have usage of the brand new textures that they are bringing into the new consoles. But again, it looks blurry, and it seems like just a lot of things are missing, like shading, you know, shadow details and stuff like that. Rays, of course, from the sunlight and stuff like that are completely missing. There's just a lot of things that are not necessarily looking indicative of this being perhaps the best type of port available into the system. Now, it is worth considering that these are three separate games. Perhaps some of them will look better than others. We don't necessarily know that, even for any of the other consoles. Again, not a lot of people have been able to see the actual builds of the thing. We just have the trailer and a couple of screenshots from other consoles. So comparably speaking, obviously the other consoles are going to look better than the Switch version. But so far the Switch version looks a little bit raggedy and not necessarily all that well placed. With that said, perhaps one of the criticisms that could be levied more interestingly perhaps to the Rockstar group and the development team is the fact that there's no specific toggle to look for the old graphics in comparison to the new graphics. So maybe that would be a saving grace in one way or another, so you can actually look at the old graphics and just play that way if you want. But apparently that's not an option. Like the Tony Hawk games, I believe, had that option. I believe other games did as well. I hope I'm not misremembering, but ultimately that not seems to be the case in this game specifically, so that is a little bit of a bummer. So these are at the first look that we got on the Nintendo Switch. And going forward, hopefully we're going to get an official Nintendo Switch trailer with more gameplay so we can actually judge it accordingly. But that's about all the information that I have for you guys today. If you're brand new to my channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Hit the bell to receive the notifications when the videos go up. And as always, thank you so much for watching. See ya.